Have you ever wondered what really happened to the stars of the beloved British sitcom Are You Being Served? 1972 to 1985. After the spotlight dimmed and the laughter faded, beneath the cheerful facade and the iconic characters that once delighted millions of viewers lay lives marked by loneliness, illness, and haunting, untimely deaths. Few people know that behind the scenes, many members of that legendary cast endured silent tragedies. Some passed away in solitude, others battled illness and obscurity, and some left this world carrying unspoken pain that was never truly heard. The laughter they brought to audiences was, at times, a fragile mask hiding their own private sorrow, a sorrow filled with loss, heartbreak, and despair. In this tear-stained journey of remembrance, we turn back the pages of their lives beyond the glittering stage, only to find that those who once brought joy to an entire generation often left this world quietly unnoticed. This is our tribute to them, the artists who gave their hearts to the craft of comedy but, in the end, received little more than the silence of being forgotten. Born in 1922, Molly Sugdan rose to fame with her unforgettable portrayal of Mrs. Betty Slocum, the head of the ladies' department at Grace Brothers. With her frequently changing hair color and her iconic innuendos involving her pussy, Sugdan became a national treasure in British comedy. While she brought laughter to millions, her personal life was more subdued and heartbreakingly private. She was married to actor William Moore, with whom she had twin sons. In her later years, Sugdan suffered from a long illness that led to kidney failure. After her husband's death in 2000, her health declined rapidly. Friends described her final days in the hospital as quiet and lonely despite her once being adored by millions. She passed away in July 2009 at the age of 86, with her sons by her side. Her funeral was modest, lacking the fanfare that her iconic character might have commanded, a quiet farewell to a woman who once owned the spotlight. John Inman, born in 1935, brought to life the effervescent Mr. Wilberforce Claiborne Humphreys, arguably the soul of Are You Being Served? With his trademark catchphrase, "I'm free," and flamboyant mannerisms, Inman became a symbol of camp comedy in the UK. Yet behind the glitter and applause was a man who faced years of quiet struggle. Although he lived with his long-term partner Ron Lynch for over 3 decades, they only legally wed in 2005 after civil partnerships became legal, a bittersweet moment in an era when his identity had often been both his brand and his burden. His career faded with the show's end, and he became increasingly reclusive. A severe hepatitis A infection in 2004 left him frail, and he never fully recovered. He passed away in March 2007 at age 71. Inman's death went largely unnoticed by a new generation unaware of his fame, and though he was once cheered by millions, his final days were marked by a tragic silence, a quiet curtain call for a man who once brought the house down. Frank Thornton, born January 15, 1921, died March 16, 2013. Frank Thornton, known to millions as the pompous yet dignified Captain Stephen Peacock in Are You Being Served?, embodied the epitome of British upper-middle-class formality. A veteran of stage and screen, Thornton brought gravitas and dry wit to his role, making Captain Peacock an iconic presence in Grace Brothers' menswear department. His career extended far beyond the series, including roles in Last of the Summer Wine, The Goodies, and The Bed-Sitting Room, 1969. In his later years, Frank continued working into his 90s, a testament to his dedication and talent. Behind his composed public persona, he endured quiet personal griefs. He lost close friends from the industry and watched his generation fade away. Though he was married to Beryl Jane Margaret Evans for nearly 70 years and had a daughter, their lives were touched by the loneliness of age, especially as he witnessed the passing of many Are You Being Served? Co-stars. Frank passed away peacefully in his sleep from natural causes, but his final years were marked by increasing frailty and the pain of outliving nearly all of his peers. Wendy Richard, born July 20th, 1943, died February 26, 2009. Wendy Richard lit up Are You Being Served? As the spirited and fashion-forward Miss Shirley Brahms, the junior sales assistant with a thick Cockney accent and an infectious laugh. Born Wendy Emerton, her early life was marred by tragedy. Her father died by suicide when she was just 11, an event that haunted her throughout her life. Wendy went on to build a formidable career, not only in Are You Being Served?, but also as Pauline Fowler in EastEnders, a role she played for over 2 decades. Despite professional success, her personal life was a series of struggles. For marriages, some abusive and deeply unhappy, and no children, a fact she deeply regretted. Diagnosed with breast cancer in 1996, Wendy fought bravely for over a decade, enduring multiple rounds of chemotherapy and operations. The cancer returned and spread aggressively, and by the end of her life, she weighed less than 6 stone and was in immense pain. She died at the Harley Street Clinic in London, with her 4th husband by her side. Her death marked a heartbreaking end to a life full of laughter on screen but quiet anguish off it. Nicholas Smith, born March 5, 1934, died December 6, 2015. As the well-meaning but bumbling Mr. Cuthbert Rumbold, Nicholas Smith became instantly recognizable for his exaggerated expressions, high forehead, and comedic cluelessness. Playing the manager constantly caught between the demands of staff and upper management, Smith gave Rumbold an almost endearing incompetence that was a crucial part of Are You Being Served? S. long-standing charm. Beyond the sitcom, he appeared in films like Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, 2005, lending his voice, and in classic shows such as Doctor Who and The Saint. In real life, Nicholas Smith was a devoted family man, married to Mary Smith, with whom he had one daughter, Catherine. Tragically, his final years were marred by declining health following a fall in his home, which led to complications. He never fully recovered, and in December 2015, he passed away as the last surviving original cast member of Are You Being Served?, leaving behind not just a grieving family, but fans worldwide who felt the closing of an era. His departure marked the final curtain for a golden generation of British television comedy. Trevor Banister, born August 23, 1934, died April 14, 2011. Trevor Banister portrayed the cheeky, womanizing junior salesman Mr. Dick Lucas, whose youthful exuberance and suggestive jokes often ruffled the feathers of Grace Brothers' more conservative staff. He was a perfect foil to the uptight Captain Peacock and added working-class swagger to the ensemble. Though he left Are You Being Served? In 1979 due to other theater commitments, his role left a lasting impression. Trevor continued a steady career on stage and on television, notably appearing as Toby Mulberry Smith in Last of the Summer Wine. He was known for his friendly nature and deep love for theater, always preferring live audiences over fame. Behind the scenes, his life was touched by quiet sorrow. After the death of his first wife, he remarried, but remained a private man about his personal losses. His sudden death from a heart attack in his garden came as a shock to friends and fans alike. It was unexpected, cruel in its swiftness, and left his second wife Pamela and his 3 sons from his first marriage devastated. Trevor's life ended doing something he loved, tending to his home, but the loss left an aching void in the hearts of those who knew his warmth behind the comedic mask. Born in 1919, Arthur English joined Are You Being Served? In 1976 as Mr. Harmon, the cheeky, working-class maintenance man who replaced Mr. Mash. Known for his quick wit and Cockney charm, Arthur brought warmth and humor to the show, often serving as the bridge between the posh sales staff and the down-to-earth warehouse team. Off-screen, Arthur's life was a mixture of highs and quiet sorrows. He was a well-established variety performer and comedian, gaining fame after World War II with his fast-talking style. Yet behind his smile was heartbreak. His first wife, Ivy Ruth Martin, died tragically young, and their daughter Patricia also passed away prematurely in 1996. Arthur remarried later in life, but he endured declining health in his final years. After suffering a series of strokes, he spent his last days in a nursing home, passing away in 1995 at the age of 76. The light-hearted entertainer who once made Britain laugh died in a quiet corner of Hampshire, largely forgotten by the industry that once celebrated him. In a performance that became iconic for its comedic absurdity, Harold Bennett, born in 1898, portrayed the doddering and ancient young Mr. Grace, the often firm but allegedly youthful head of Grace Brothers. Despite being called young, his character was a hilariously frail and womanizing old man, usually surrounded by buxom nurses and spouting the famous line, "You've all done very well." Harold didn't begin acting until late in life. Astonishingly, he was already in his 60s when his screen career started. Before that, he worked as a civil servant and served in World War I. His late entry into the entertainment world meant that much of his fame came in his twilight years. Tragically, Harold passed away in 1981 at age 82, collapsing shortly after filming a Christmas special. He never married and lived a relatively solitary life, though colleagues described him as gentle and full of quiet dignity. His death marked the end of a unique chapter in British comedy, a man who only just discovered fame before it slipped away forever. Let me know if you would like similar paragraphs for other actors from the series. Arthur Brough, born in 1905, played the traditional and often bewildered Mr. Ernest Granger, the aging senior salesman in the gentleman's department of Grace Brothers. With his disapproving glances and sleepy demeanor, Mr. Granger was the epitome of a past era, clashing often with younger staff like Mr. Lucas. Arthur was already a respected actor before the show, having founded a repertory theater and mentored many future stars. However, his story took a heartbreaking turn. After the death of his beloved wife, actress Elizabeth Inman, in 1978, Arthur was left devastated. The grief was so overwhelming that he retired from acting and reportedly told colleagues he had nothing left to live for. Just weeks after her passing, he died of a heart attack, alone and brokenhearted. He left behind a daughter, Joanna, who had followed her parents into acting. Arthur's death marked not only the end of his own career, but also brought the curtain down on a life where art and love had been inseparably intertwined. Vivian Johnson, born in 1949, was known to fans of Are You Being Served? As Mr. Grace's nurse, a recurring role marked by minimal dialogue but maximum impact. Clad in the iconic white uniform, she was often seen silently accompanying the elderly Mr. Grace, providing comedic contrast through her exaggerated beauty and emotionless expressions. While her appearances were brief, she became a memorable part of the ensemble's rhythm. Vivian's career outside the series included modest roles in British television, but she never achieved widespread fame. Her life after acting became shrouded in quiet anonymity as she faded from the public eye entirely. While not much is publicly known about her personal life, no confirmed marriage, children, or public interviews, there's a haunting stillness to her legacy, a symbol of many actors who orbit around iconic shows yet vanish without fanfare. If she is still alive, she has remained deeply private, and the silence surrounding her post-acting life leaves behind a melancholic echo of someone once regularly seen but rarely truly known. How do you feel about the lives, careers, and passing of the actors from Are You Being Served? Who do you miss the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss any of our latest videos.